Welcome to the lesson overview 4.03, part 2. In this lesson, we will determine the unknown side length in a right triangle using a trigonomic ratio. Then we will solve some real-world problems using trigonomic ratios. For our first question, it says, what is PR? So it's asking us for PR. The first thing that we notice is that PR is across from the 90-degree angle, so it is the hypotenuse. We also notice that we have an angle measure of 43 degrees, and when we draw our arrow across from that angle or opposite that angle, we see that we have the measure 10.46. That means that we have the opposite and we need the hypotenuse. So we are going to use sine, which is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. Notice here that our sine is 43. So we can say sine 43 is equal to opposite, which is 10.46, divided by the hypotenuse, which is x. Now, sine 43 is one term all on its own. So I can go ahead and put this over 1 in order to find my missing side. Then I can cross multiply and I get sine 43 times x is equal to 10.46. I could plug this in like this, sine 43 times x is equal to 10.46, and then I could divide sine 43 by both sides, which would give me, and I'm just going to abbreviate here to make it kind of quick. Whoops, 43, sine 43. Which would give me x is equal to 10.46 divided by sine 43. Or I could remember this wonderful rhyme that says, if x is up high, multiply. If x is below, divide. So since x is below, I know I'm going to divide. Let's see what this looks like in the calculator. Okay, so here's how I would type this out in the calculator. Notice the x is below. So if x is up high, multiply. If the x is low, divide. That means that I can say 10.46 divided by sine 43. Now, I get 15.3372828. I'm going to round this to the nearest hundredths place, and I'm going to get 15.34. That tells me that PR measures 15.34 meters. Let's look at another. Jamie drove from All Groceries food store to get Rich Savings Bank and then to AA Hardware. How far did Jamie drive? Okay, so she drove from All Groceries food store to Get Rich Savings and then to AA Hardware. Oh, good. Notice that from Get Rich Savings to AA Hardware is 4 miles. So I already know that I'm going to find this side right here, and then I'm going to add these two line measures together. So that means I'm going to say X plus 4 miles for my final answer on this question. But what I need to see here is what I have and what I'm missing. So notice that I have the adjacent because across from my 90-degree angle is my hypotenuse. So now I have the adjacent, and then here's my 28-degree angle, and this is my opposite side. So I need to know the opposite. Well, if I'm looking for adjacent and opposite, then tan is for my legs, and I'm going to use tan 28 is equal to opposite, which I don't know, over adjacent, which I do know is 4. Remember my saying, if x is high, multiply. So that means in my calculator, I can say tan 28 times 4. When I plug this into my calculator, bring my calculator back here, then I can say tan 28 times, and I can multiply here times 4, or I can put it in parentheses. Either one will work. And I find that it's 2.12 miles. So now I see that from All Groceries food store to Get Rich Savings is 2.12 miles. Now I can add 2.12 plus 4, and I see that Jamie traveled 6.12 miles. Let's look at another one. Jessica wants to make a ramp using a board so that she can ride her bike onto the front porch. The ramp must reach the ground to the floor of the porch, which is 2.5 feet above the ground. Jessica has decided that the ramp cannot have an incline of more than 35 degrees. What length board should Jessica buy if she uses the maximum angle of incline? Well, first, let's grab a 90-degree angle. So I've gone ahead and filled in all of the information. I'm looking to find what the size of the ramp is. I have that it's above the ground by 2.5, 2.5 above ground, right? And I have a 35-degree angle. So I'm looking for the hypotenuse, and I have the opposite. So that means I'm going to go ahead and use sine 35 is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. which is 2.5 over h or x. Well, the one that I'm missing is low, so I'm going to divide. So in my calculator, I'm going to put 2.5 divided by sine 35. And that's going to tell me that my ramp is going to be 4.36 feet. If you have any questions on this exit ticket, please feel free to reach out via text or email.